What's up, poker players? Hope you guys are killing it out on the tables. I finally bounced back from that big downswing I was in. Got a couple winning sessions in a row, including this session from last night. Look at that win total for your OCD. So as you can see here, I have been doing pretty well the last couple days. I was on quite the downswing for a little while there. I wasn't sure what was going on. See that downswing, kind of leveled it off. Now it's coming back up. Last 3 days though, well over $300. So doing pretty good there. I honestly think the Snowie app helped out a lot. I tried to implement some of the things I learned from using Poker Snowie into my game, and maybe just the small changes, maybe this isn't a very large sample size, but if you can plug just the smallest leaks in your game, I think it can have a large effect in the long run. I think I was just catching some cold cards and some variants during that downswing, but I don't think the Poker Snowie hurt my game at all. I can guarantee you that. I definitely learned from it. If you guys want to check out Poker Snowie, the link is down in the video description. I'm going to continue reviewing that in upcoming videos. I'm going to finish the video that started yesterday. I think I ended with just the pre-flop. So we'll get into some flop, turn, and river action within that app in the upcoming videos. But let's take a look at this last session from last night. That is pretty incredible. The biggest win is almost $110. I got in a big three-way pot with, I believe I flopped a set, maybe turned a full house. We'll take a look at that one. My biggest loss is only $5.50, and that is what you call winning the min-max game. Minimize your losses, maximize your wins, and you will be a winning poker player. And that is a huge difference between them. Kept that red line pretty close to zero, which is exactly what I want to do. Showed down incredibly well, so I must have been making some good decisions out on the table. Won almost 7 buy-ins. Let's take a look at some of the big winning hands here though. Alright, just did a sort by net 1. Oh, this is great. I don't even think I had to bet this hand, and I think I just called it the whole way down. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, totally. I totally remember this. This is a great one. So we have a limp from under the gun +1, and we get raised by only the nuts. And this is a very tight player. And I remember thinking to myself that he probably has a pretty good hand over here. I didn't put him on sixes. I put him on a larger pair, or maybe an ace king, ace queen. I honestly thought at first that he would have the type of hand that just Norm would be playing here with pocket aces. But he's a deep stack. I figured just Norm would call too, so I'd be in position with a decent pair. So I just make the call, and then just Norm comes back over the top. And right here, I've seen this play so many times, and I know that this player has kings or aces. It has to be kings or aces. You're just barely making a min bet there. It's a little bit larger than a min bet, but I know what you have. You're giving me great odds to call here, and I'm in the position where it's one of those that I like to call the CTC hand. You're calling to crack. I know what you have. All I have to do is look for an 8 out there, and if I have an 8, I pretty much know I'm going to get your stack. There's no way you're going to be folding the aces in what's going to be a very large pot. So I make the $3 call into, a pot it was $12.75 before I made the call. I'm getting better than 4-to-1 odds. And, there's the 8. There's the crack card, the one I'm looking for, and, the aces come out firing. Luckily for me, only the nuts also hit his set with the sixes. I was actually a little worried about this. So when he calls, I just make a call as well, trying to suck some more money out of these guys. And then only the nuts goes all in here, and that bet was what scared me. I'm like, oh man, he's got to have pocket 10s or jacks, because only the nuts is such a tight player. He wouldn't be playing other hands like that. But I can't fold, with the set there. So I, of course, make the call. Just Norm, he's only got 219 back. He's putting that in with the aces, and I couldn't have seen better hands. I knew exactly what just Norm had. Only the nuts scared me a little bit, but once I saw him flip sixes, I was feeling great. And we pick up a giant pot there. Gotta love that. We're at almost 93% on the turn, over 81% on the flop. But even pre-flop, we're at 18.3%, which really isn't bad. when you think about implied odds, we have a chance to pick up a huge pot, and we're getting 4-1 just on the call, and the implied odds make it totally worth it. We know that the aces is going to get in probably, most of the time there. So let that be a word of advice to you guys. Don't limp with aces and kings, especially against a player who has a lot of experience. The regular players are going to pick up on that play. If you want to get crazy, do that against a regular with something that's on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. Polarize your play and do that play with the 2-3 suited or 3-4, something that they would totally not see coming. You can slow play aces and kings, but only do that against super aggressive, fishy type players. That slow play totally set just Norm up for failure on this one. And, if you're going to do that, you still have to make the bet large enough to force the other players out of the pot. He made it so affordable for us to get in this pot, both of us, just raising $3. We're in position. Only the nuts probably, he's a pretty experienced player. He's got, 1.8 thousand hands. And he might have realized that too. Like, oh shit, he's probably just slow playing kings or aces. I know what he has. Let me just make this call to see if I can catch a 6. The last thing you want to do is to let a regular player know exactly what your hand is. Fish and players that can't think won't be able to figure it out, so that's no big deal. And you can play against those players straight up, but you want to do some outside the box plays and plays that'll put the regular players and the more experienced players off of their game. Alright, I spent too much time on this hand. That was fun though. That one obviously helped out the win rate here a lot. That one was right about there. Alright, now you get to see me play pocket aces. So we have an early position raise from Only the Nuts again. He's got ace king. I make a 3-bet on the button to 550, almost 4x. Flop is an ace. That definitely hurts Only the Nuts. I come out and continuation bet, and I'm doing that continuation bet because I'm playing Only the Nuts, and I could very easily slow play this board right here, but I think that this player knows that I'm going to continuation bet after 3-betting pre-flop, pretty much every hand, and so I make it a little bit smaller, and I want him to think that I'm just continuation betting any 2 cards in my hand. Again, it's one of those that's a little bit outside the box. If I slow play it here, it might look like I just played pocket aces. Pocket aces are probably going to slow play this flop a ton, so I'm going to fast play it. And plus, I didn't know he had ace king. Obviously that helps. He might be folding hands, like queens or kings, maybe. If I do, well, kings probably would have 4-bet pre-flop, but he might fold jacks, queens, but I think that smaller bet kind of induces him to call. Now he's pot committed. We got 25 in the pot. Another small bet. He comes back over the top with the jam, and I've got full house aces over 2s and pick up another big pot there. That one's a little bit more of a cooler. I was not expecting to see ace king there, but he played it exactly like ace king. Good pot there. I will take that. 2 big pots there in position on the button. Look at this. I was finally winning pots in the blinds too. Holy shit. Let's take a look at one from the cutoff. This time I have pocket queens. Obamka raises to 3x. Early position, I 3-bet to 450. Obamka comes back over with a 4-bet, and I 5-bet jam into his short stack. I'm going to get in, queens plus pretty much every time against short stackers. So I get it all in. He's got, outs to the ace. That's about it. Pick up a good pot there. Finally, the variance is going on my side. All right, now we're going to look at pocket kings from the small blind. We have a hijack seat limp. I make it 5x pre-flop. Flop is 10 high, pretty draw heavy. I come out and do about 2/3 of the pot. He makes a call. Turn didn't really help any of the draws. We now have 250 in the pot. I think kings are probably still going to be good here, but I check back. I think I could have continuation bet this turn, and I think that probably would have been the better play. When I check back and I have this tight player with 1 for an aggression factor, bet fairly large on the turn, almost 2/3 of the pot. That kind of looks like a very strong draw or a set. So I just make the call on the turn, and the river is a 6. I think that card actually helps me out. The 9-10 is now beat by my hand. I don't think there's a lot of 6s in his range. All of the draws missed. So I check back to try to induce a bluff, and he jams, which is exactly what I wanted to happen. And I'm making that call, 100% of the time, no matter who this player is, even though he is extremely tight. I don't really even think about it, and my money's going all in. I'm already committed. He missed his draw, and I pick up a large pot there. With all the draws missing on the river there, if you bet you're only going to be giving money up, you want to check here because there are so many hands in this player's range that miss that river, and the only way he's going to be able to win money is by betting here, and by bluffing. That's also the only way that you're going to win money too, is by letting him do that. So you want to be checking back a lot of these missed draws hand. When the big draws miss, when all of the draws miss, check back that river and try to induce some big bluffs like this one. Alright, well that's a little bit of a look at last night's session and a bounce back from a little bit of a downswing I was in. Head down to the video description to download Hold'em Manager, which is what I used for this video today. There are links for America's Card Room as well as all the other great poker products that I use. If you guys have not hit that subscribe button, make sure you do that. Tons of great videos coming out. Give the video a thumbs up if you like it. Share it with anyone that might be interested. If you have any comments or questions, leave those down in the comment section below. I love hearing from you guys. I've gotten a lot of great feedback and questions, and we've got a great little community building, and I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, poker players, and I'll see you out on the virtual felt.